Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another broadcast of our uh, talk show here, The Issues Room. We welcome you wherever you are to this presentation. This is our 218th production. Thank you so much, all of you who continue to remain with us as we go into our conversation this evening. We welcome you wherever you are. Those of you in Liberia, I know it's just past midnight, and being up this late um, it's important because your country is transitioning from the past to the present and into the future. We just recently ushered in the new president who has been in power for about a week and a day. And so much has happened. He had his inaugural address, which didn't end due to poor planning and the selection of the venue and the things that were not put in place. As a result, he suffered heat stroke and had to abort his uh, inaugural address and was taken out of the audience and transported to his home. Um, that kind of killed the momentum around the festivity, the anticipated festivity. Most of the presidential guests who came in had to leave the country prematurely. Many of the folks who anticipated, having to meet with the president during the inaugural occasion didn't have that opportunity. So he had to be removed uh, voluntarily, but for a medical reason, because, of course, with heat stroke, you cannot take chances. Then, of course, during the time frame, he's been appointing his officials um, to the new post. Um, Many of them were nominated, put it that way, and they are to be confirmed before they can take official seat within the different sectors. There is a commerce minister nominee, a foreign minister nominee, a justice minister nominee, uh, youth and sports, gender, for children and child protection services, information, health, um, transport, um, just many of the key sectors. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and all of the deputies, all of those folks were nominated. So it's anticipated that the confirmation hearing will begin, if not next week or sometimes this week, but we're hoping to see some of these folks meeting with the committee uh, in the chambers of the Senate. Um, so the hope is, hopefully, some of these folks can go through the confirmation hearings so that they can officially be appointed to the position by the president. Not only that, the president also has been meeting with folks. He met with the former rather American ambassador to Liberia, Linda Thomas Greenfield, who is currently the UN representative at the U.S. representative at the United Nations. She was the representation of the American government and people at the inaugural program, held for President Joseph Boakai. She met with him and reaffirmed America's continued support to Liberia. And she said that development partners and investors are edgy. They're sitting at the tip of their seats, can't wait to come to Liberia. But of course, Mr. Boaga has a Herculean task to uh, hopefully get the ball rolling with regards to the audits he has been talking about. Um, and let's hope that those audits will be soon. He also declared that they will establish some kind of corruption court to deal with those who will be found guilty through the legal process to ensure that justice is served. Um, as part of his continued effort, he had to uh, meet with the Senate and the House of Representatives, which is considered the entire legislature, to address that body on the state of affairs in the country, the state of the nation address, which is coined as SONA. And he was very, very strong yesterday when he made his national appearance, first time appearance before the legislature. In his speech, he mentioned a whole lot of things that his government would do in aligned with his arrest plan. And it is the hope that these things will begin to manifest in the coming days, weeks, months, and even a year. He did promise repeatedly that in the first 100 days of his administration, a lot of work will be done, to ensure that uh, the country will be regaining its momentum and begin to be respected again. And he's working hard in that direction. He also promised that in the first 100 days, the pliable roads in Liberia will be resurfaced. People who misconstrued the thing that he's paving all of the road, I don't think that's what he meant. I believe that in my layman's sense, that when you think about, the condition of uh, uh, dusty roads, muddy roads in the rainy season, which becomes impliable, uh, when the dries come, if you grade them up and you resurface them, then people don't get stuck. And I believe that's what he meant. That we put some resources. He just appointed or nominated a public works minister, uh, who, if confirmed, will begin work immediately. So he did that. He made that promise, rather, because he knows that when I was growing up, that's what they did. Those days we had the Ministry of Rural Development. Action, it used to be called the Ministry of Action for Development and Progress, and then it went on to be Rural Development. That segment of the sector was headed by that ministry, and they will go into the hinterland and surface the roads, um, and while Public Works in Monrovia and its environs will take care of the Monrovia side. But over time, they decided that they just do one ministry responsible for national development. And so the Ministry of Public Works is the ministry responsible. So a lot of things he's promised and a lot of things we're looking forward to see happen. So uh, the connection of getting the counties connected, it doesn't mean that it's going to be paved, and let people not misconstrued that issue. So interestingly, these are the things that we're looking forward to. I'm still anticipating Moses. I'm still anticipating what's his name, Alphonso, to be here. Don't know what's happening with them, but in the meantime, we say thank you all you guys for joining us here tonight. It's a pleasure having you, Manet Sumo. It's a pleasure having you, Forja Moyu. It's a pleasure having you, Raymond Clark. Um, we can't ask for more. You guys have shown your continued commitment to this platform, irrespective of what we who we are and what we do. Many of you have shown that, at least to a greater extent, you come here to be enlightened. You come here to be a part of the conversation. You come here to contribute your own thought, and we encourage you to continue to, throw your comments in the chat room. If necessary, you can call when the lines are open, just to participate, because the whole idea of these kinds of conversation is not that we want to come here and just do the talking. We also want to hear from you. We also want your engagement. I would like to just sit here and hear from you guys. What is your perspective? What are your perspectives, rather, and how do you see in this first week what is trending in the country? What's the hope that you have? So call the number right now. If you wanted to talk to me, call the number right now, 404-272-2808. While with my colleagues, you can call the number and just share with me. And let me just post the number quickly. Just share with me, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to? What the optimism, what the pessimism? There are people who say, especially Yeke Koluba, who has been very clear and emphatic that he doesn't see this government being any different from the previous governments. He thinks that Boakai's government going to be the most corrupt. Is that what you believe? Is that what you think? Is he just a man who throw jabs with no evidence? Is he just a man who like to gain, traction by making loud statement? Is he the man who just want to show to his people that he's so neutral and he's so the word is um how do I put it, non-corrupt, and he stands for the people? Is that what it means? So yes, maybe he's right. Maybe this government may not do anything. I heard Samuel Jackson, a senior brother, who claimed that some of the appointments President Boakai has made is not aligned with today um, what you would consider today's modernity, put it that way, today's modernity. And today's modernity means that technology has changed over these last 10 years, right? So many things. He claims that the deputy minister, uh, rather the minister nominee, uh, who was nominated, the nominee for the, what you call the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, um, is not young. He's an old man, and this old man cannot, do the work because he's old. He needs to. He's 75 years old, and at this point, it's difficult for him to be able to do the job. And he was very stern about it, and he remains resolute every time he talks. He speaks of it, and so just wanted to say that how could he has thought about it that way, that because the man is you know 75, it means that he cannot do his job. So that's what he continues to believe, and quite frankly, that may not be the case. So a lot has been said. People are continuing to believe that uh, Mr. Boaga is not going to be successful. So let's see if that will happen. I'm trying to get the link to Moses. He claims he didn't get it. So let's hope that he got it. Um, but quite frankly, the situation is such that we continue to um, see many things happening. And again, today the president had gone to this graduation program, and here comes a guy who tries to grab him from the chest area, came across his whole body and tried to pull him back. Was that a technology designed to make it appear as though the president is vulnerable? Did it really happen? Was the video put in slow motion for that reason? Uh, the security is they were they so lax, slack on their observation around the president's, because the president's presence should be an area where it is tight in terms of security. What happened there? So we seen a lot of things, and interestingly, the social media is still throwing out up a lot of what you would call sentiments. Everyone has something to say about things that are happening. Some people from day one have had no belief that this government is going to succeed. Some people are excited that with this government things will improve. So there's so much misconception, perception about what we should expect, as a people. So I believe Moses Sandy is somewhere back there ready. Let me try to usher him in. I've done this soliloquy enough. Let's hear from him. Welcome, Moses. Let's start this show. Let's not drag. We already gone what? Uh 15 minutes. 15,
Yeah.
16 minutes. So
I don't know what was going on, but anyway, it's going to be yeah. I know you kick it off. I don't know if you ever talk about the situation, the security breach today
I
in
already
government.
talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mention it.
Okay. So where are you now? I don't want to jump in the middle of something that I don't know. I'm talking
Well,
about.
I'm just giving highlights of everything that's been trending over the last several. days since the president was inaugurated, from the day of his inauguration, just giving highlights. But the purpose of the conversation tonight is to look at his SONA, right? Um,
Yeah.
he spoke yesterday, um, and he talked about a lot of things in that address. If you read the speech, it wasn't that bad compared to the first one. Um, the sentences and paragraph structure was a little shorter, and it was precise and to the point, more than historical in nature. Um, and if you want to chime in the areas that you observed, we can
Hmm.
go. But I can also say that there were some things he talked about. He talked about the most important thing was the money, $40 million that the claim was left in the uh, coffers, which he said was 20.5 instead. So
Yeah. So
19.5 walked
hypothetically, we
away.
say $20 million.
Yeah, yeah, I was saying 19.5 walked away between that time frame of the transition. So is it the money that we are ran away with the same day he was rushing out of the country? Who knows? I'm just,
Well,
you know, but there will be a lot of
is
conversation. So I want to start from there, because if they are inheriting a broke situation, because he talked about the country being in distress. And when something is in distress, if a man is in distress, it speaks volume. So let's start with the money first. I think that's critical, because it's more like pointing finger. You say you Moses Sandia say you gave me $40, and I tell you say no, you only gave me 20. Then something gotta happen. We gotta what? Investigate to find who's telling the truth.
yeah. The probe into the two statements coming from the two leaders has already started. Liberian Senate has invited the governor of the central bank, to the Senate. I think the governor and others involved with the fiscal management of Liberia will be at the Senate to provide clarity as to who is saying the truth. Because we heard Mr. Weah said that he was leaving the country uh, on a good financial footing, and that in the government consolidated account, he did a comparison. He said when he came in 2018, he made $7 million, but he's leaving $40 million. On Monday, when President Boakai addressed the nation, when he delivered his SONA, he contradicted what President Weah said. He said his administration inherited a little over $20 million. So that's where the bank governors and others will come to provide clarity on that. I think that's the best thing that has ever happened. The Senate leadership, especially for the guys involved with Ways, Means, and Finance committees, have invited Senator Amara Conan and the others. They have invited um, the bank governor to come and tell the people who is saying the truth. This is not to put anyone to shame, but it's just good to provide the needed clarity. Because Volcano, if you take over an organization, the past leadership say, "Hey, we left $10," and you come, you say, "Oh, it's $5," that can just create a lot of doubts. So it is good that uh, the governor and the others will be going to the Senate to provide the needed clarity on this matter. I'm not surprised, though, given the way Mr. Weah and his people conducted the affairs of Liberia. I'm not surprised that, and I'm not trying to say that what he says is absolutely falsehood, but this is sometimes good. You judge the credibility of an individual based on his past. And the Weah administration, for the past 6 years that they led Liberia, they came across as a group of people who on a consistent basis lie to Liberians. So I'm waiting to hear from the bank governor, but to some extent, I think Mr. Weir and his people, they have integrity problem, they have credibility problem. So I don't believe George Weir. Yeah, let me stop there and give it to you.
Oh, I think so. So the issue here is that when you come out and tell the people, and what these guys continue to forget is that the money we're talking about here, oftentimes are not money raised by Liberians. It's not money raised by taxpayers. When they say the taxpayer, it's just a general saying. The taxpayer, the taxpayer. In Liberia, who paying taxes? Really? I mean, the government employees are paying taxes, right? I agree, but it's just a drop in the bucket.
Say the guys who even work in the public sector,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean private sector, they do pay taxes.
yeah. What I'm saying, I'm talking for the
Okay.
government, right?
Hmm.
They claim to say taxpayers' money. My point is, how many taxpayers are paying tax, and how much tax is that tax that will drive our economy compared
Hmm.
to what we do here abroad? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much other taxes that we're collecting? Of course, yes, we are, but it's not to the extent that it takes care of the country's economy. So a lot of the monies that these guys played with are
Hmm.
international partners who put in these monies for development projects, for different projects, because it is the goodwill that drives the economy of small nations, poor nations. Then you're talking about diaspora Liberians who are pumping in monies into the country, doing their own developmental projects, sending money and remitting fees to their families for survival and sustenance. The numbers are there, how much Liberians continue to contribute outside of Liberia to enhance projects and take care of their family. And so all of these monies are coming from all over the place, but these guys just take on, and just decide that they can do whatever they want to do. If we can do it to $16 billion, if we can do it to $25 million, if we can do it to the road fund, then we can do it to $20 million, and nothing gonna doggone come out of it. You see the track here,
Hmm.
because they were in position at the time to investigate themselves, right? They
Yeah.
were to order themselves. $16 billion disappears right at the convergence of you coming in and another government going out. Today, nobody hears anything, no credible report put out there to explain how this money was missing, whether there was any money. Um, then $25 million, Mr. Samuel Toy just take away and talk about
He
mapping
said he took it to Nukuta.
changes and all of that. And no audit done. That money walked away, and then in months we see Mr. We are building condominiums. We see them buying houses. We see them buying single. We see people riding big cars. Then you come out to the road phone. You take the road phone that is absolutely outside of its jurisdiction, and you put it into something else without legislative, processes, and you do what you want to do unilaterally, and nothing comes out of it. And so, yes, so you turn brave, because that's how bravery starts. You do something here, no repercussion. You do it again, so you just turn brave, and you just go on to brazenly do these things. And so you think now that because you're leaving, you can do it and get away with it, because Mr. Boyka is timid. Mr. Boyka is a man of God. He's a church man. He would just say, okay, I go to God and pray for my young people who was in power. They made a mistake, so I'll just pray for the forgiveness, and we'll find a way to cover up. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, and I think it's very necessary for this audit. The other thing I want to also add here, the president said that he will do drug tests, and he also said that he wants Jeremiah Kun to do drug tests. because I know the reason why he said they should do drug test. We all know they say we are was smoking weed, you know, at Jamaica Resort drinking Hennessy. Hey man, they were going there and they were having fun. So if you have all of this kind of saying about the president, and some of the insiders of the president say yes, they make it smoke weed, they make it do these things, then it is only necessary for this government to begin to tell, because some of the men, the way they can act in our house. So now you don't think that Yeager can get high too? You think he's just doing it out of happiness? So it's necessary. So what do you think? You're gonna come in. What do you think that they should start doing drug tests? To be frank,
I think
drug tests here in America.
symbolically, what the president said is meant to tell the world, now the Liberians, that his administration is committed to the war on substance use in Liberia, the uncontrollable substance use in Liberia. And I think that's laudable, Volcano, because unless the current situation in Liberia, which really impacted lives of the at-risk youth in our country, unless that situation is brought under control, Volcano, I can tell you definitively that Liberia will be sitting on a time bomb.
It is sitting on a time bomb.
To see
Just another explosion.
i- the in developed society, take for example, like the United States here, the US, the federal authority use billions of dollars on an annual basis, fighting, addiction in this country. There are people who are addicted to all kinds of substances. Some people, in fact, marijuana use now has become, a way of life here for a lot of people in the United States. They have people now who have marijuana cards. So marijuana is being prescribed like any other medication because what it say is that whenever they're taking marijuana, that helps them to de-stress. So medical doctors are prescribing marijuana now for people. In a very poor society such as Liberia, where people are using marijuana, people are taking in opioids, the painkillers. People are taking in heroin. People are taking in cocaine. People are addicted to fentanyl. People are addicted to oxycodone, Percocet, all of these various types of medication. What happened is that if this happen on a consistent basis, Volcano, you see a significant rise in crime rate. That's why today in Liberia, Volcano, you go there on a regular basis. You agree with me on this. Evening hours, people are out of the street because the addicts are literally running after people for whatever that they can grab, in order to run to the ghetto. Everywhere you tend to in Liberia, you have what? Liquor stores. You have entertainment places. Alcoholism is a form of what? Addiction. It's a form of addiction. There are people who spend, they don't work, but yeah, hypothetically, they spend over 10 US dollars a day getting drunk in Liberia. So if you have no income, but you are spending hypothetically $10 a day, do you know how much is that on a monthly basis? That's $300. So where you going to get our money from? If you're a female, you're spending $300 every day. You don't work. Where are you getting that money from? The rest is something that any of us on this show can guess. So that's why it's important that interventions be put in place that we contain this situation. I agree with the president to demonstrate that ahead. And Volcano, you and I, when we apply for jobs in this country, the first requirement is that you must do a drug test. You go through that screening. If that thing comes positive, unfortunately, they're not going to say, "Oh, we will not hire you because your result came negative." They will just say, "We have found a preferred candidate." They're not going to hire you. So if Mr. Boakai says that this is what we are committed to, we're going to invest into this. We're going to recruit the professionals to come and set up rehabs in this country to help manage this problem, to get our brothers and sisters, to get our children out of the cemeteries, to minimize the crime rate in the country, to minimize the overdose rate. Do you know the number of young people that overdose in Liberia on a daily basis? That number is staggering. Like the Percocet, the opioids. When you take more of that than needed, you can die, Volcano.
Yeah, but
And
Moses, you're talking high class drugs here. The people own some things then that we don't even know where they come from.
they
So
don't.
yeah, so that's stuff that the chemist said he asking for the formula, he ain't able to explain it. He like, yeah, where is this coming from? So yeah, but
What?
I think let's not drag on it because this speech is long. I think that's a good point that the president wants to show that
Cheers, yeah.
we want to address the drug issue, and so let me start from there. But when I jokingly said that the people said President we are former President we are used to smoke weed or something, it was just a segue to get us to
I
the
know, yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
It
you're
was not
just
more,
making,
you
joke
know,
out of the
we
situation.
are,
Yeah, but
um,
this is a serious national crisis.
but when people look at drug, the thing is just the substance that I just think anything that impedes your progress, that impedes your ability to function and think,
It's
whether
substance, yeah.
alcohol or all of that, you can
It's
put
substance,
everything. Yeah,
substance, yeah.
yeah, the chemical
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
causes the imbalance in your cognitive ability and your functionalities. Uh, it depletes the society values, it depletes the society productivity. Because if you
Of
have
course.
1 million youth bouncing around a place, can't do nothing, they're slump over, they're in ghettos, passing the day, and not giving anything back to the country. And this is the society, this is the group of people that we're looking forward to leaving that country with, then it's a serious problem. And what let me say this quick. What we are fails to understand, and what the CDC fails to understand, that when they say they're coming back in 2029, they're gonna meet people who are older now. Those young children may not be younger anymore. So what did you do to enhance their productivity to remain as a society, a functioning society? Maybe by 2029, the society will be different. Of course, the voting population would be different. So for everyone now to say I'll be back, even what's his name? What the guy named Buffer Chimas, his
Yeah.
parting words were, "I'm coming back 2029." So this 2029 seems to be the the plan of the day. This is where they've planned, to root themselves. And when you are in the situation now, instead of doing what you're supposed to do to prepare for the future, you don't do it. You put the country in reverse. You retrogress the country, and then you want to say you're coming back in 2020.
2029.
You
So why the people re-elect you in 2029? Why?
after you reverse the country.
Yeah, you
So
take the country back to zero.
you want to,
And you
and,
come back,
and
you
this
say you
is
come
this
back
is what this
2029.
is why I wanted to add in.
Mhm.
President Boakai said the state of the economy is a cause for concern, with many of our citizens facing perennial unemployment and economic instability.
Of
We
course.
must not just recognize the pain and frustration that permeate our society, but also work together to introduce and pass legislations that will prioritize economic reforms that foster sustainable growth and job creation.
And Mr. Baka was simply saying to Liberians that look, I took over a country that is economically bankrupt. Everything in shambles. Nothing is working. Do you know Mr. Baka reported to Liberians that for the 6 year Mr. Weah administered the affairs of the country, Liberia's debt increased to almost $2 billion, to almost $2 billion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The workforce of the country increased from 30,000 under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to 70,000.
The guy
government
just put
workforce.
everybody everywhere. He just wanted to please his partisans.
Yeah.
But interestingly,
Hmm.
when you think about the economy, and he Boyka is saying that this is what I inherited.
Yeah.
Don't stop there. Like we have said, we inherited a broke economy, but you did nothing to show that this economy was broke. All we saw, you guys started building. You guys started living large. You started riding private jets. You started traveling all over the world with 60 to 70 people, just going places for nothing, bringing nothing back. So don't say the economic situation is perennial, is distressful, but you do nothing to show to the Liberian people this is what you inherit. And so that's what I want to call on this president tonight.
Hmm.
Making these speeches and just being vague and flowerish, that's one thing. But acting on what you say, your findings, and we can't wait any longer. Your promise to audit and your promise to persecute through the laws, those who are found guilty must be expeditious, must be quick, and there is no witch hunting to this. Because
No.
from 40 million to 20 million, that's an insult. That's disregard for the struggling people you mentioned here, the millions of Liberians who barely can find food to eat.
Yeah.
That's a disregard for the well being. That's a disregard for the education. That's a disregard for the health. That's a disregard for everything. And so, this so called free education, it was just one of those things to polish the corruption the guys were doing. Polish the corruption so they can say, oh, we gave you something free. They won't feel it, but you're giving something free that is not even up to standard. You're giving something free that is not even marketable, that is not comparable. You can't take the education from Liberia that is free and go to Sierra Leone and make any comparison. Go to Ghana and make any comparison. Or because you didn't learn the right route, so the rest of the country should not learn through the right route.
And let me just provide a little bit of information on what the UP administration under President Boakai has, decided to do. The president said, in order to control or to help, minimize the current situation, what his administration will do is that they're going to put in place austerity measures that will begin with himself. George Weah was flying charter flight whenever he needed to travel abroad. Mr. Boakai is telling Liberians that, or he told Liberians that that will not be the case with him. They're going to be restriction. You're going to travel with a smaller group of people when needed. Okay. Another thing that he talked about is that the wage base, the wage bill, um, which is now a little over 300 million US dollars a month. That's something that they're going to do to make sure that they control that. Because if that is the case, uh, when Mr. Weah, before he left the presidency, I think the forecast national budget was a little over $600 million. So if that was over $600 million and you are spending over $300 million to pay salaries, it means that you are spending over 60% of your income just on salary. Volcano, that's too huge.
But
How do you pay for electricity?
you're not you're giving all the salary and you're not giving anything back to the economy.
No,
Talk about the National Transit Authority, the NTA. The NTA, you're paying salaries for the NTA, but the NTA is not functional.
it's not bringing in no money.
You're talking about the Ministry of Information. What was the Ministry of Information doing? That's why they couldn't even pay the people by paying them $45.
Nothing, my man. Nothing.
What is the health sector doing in the country? When the people have to go to the health sector and pay for everything, you carry Clorox, you carry your own gloves, you carry your own toilet tissue, you
Your
carry
own food.
you carry everything.
Your people got to
Well,
cook and bring that food every day.
why put money into the healthcare sector?
Mhm.
So a lot of things just not working in Liberia. A lot of things are not necessarily working in that country. We pay more salaries for people who doing nothing,
Absolutely nothing.
depriving the country's development, depriving the country ability to thrive, the citizens, and you just pay.
I mean, just pay
Why
people
take,
free money.
why take a civil service from 30,000 to 70,000?
Yeah, why?
That's more than 50% increase.
Of course.
And then you inherit a broke economy. Yes, it's
Yeah,
contract.
you say you inherit that bro economy, but you
And
increase the
so
number of
this is
employee to
this is the
70,000.
paradox that I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And you got people justifying this. You got people all on social media clapping and enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
You inherit a broke economy and you bloat the workforce from 30,000 to 70,000
Mm-hmm.
just within 6 years.
Yeah.
But not only that, I heard a young man talking on Spoon by the name of Prince Maxwell,
Yeah.
who was very, very angry about the quick appointments that the WIA government made at the foreign ministry. More than 85 people who have not done anything, with respect to foreign service,
Mm-hmm.
just threw them all over the world in these embassies and gave some of them titles like minister counselor. And why are you appointing these people before Christmas or right after Christmas when your government has already been voted out and all you needed to do just transition the new government? Why are you doing that? Why are you adding more burden? Why? Is this a president who cared for the people for real? Why are you rushing to put a chief justice or associate justice? Why are you rushing to put somebody at the
Revenue authority.
new authority? You kidding me? Why? So this guy was all about himself, the CDC, and that's why they were given 6 years, Moses.
6 years.
And if they continue to preach this gospel of coming back in 2029, they are mistaken.
But
Because I don't see
I
who's
think they
credible.
live in a dream
I
world.
don't see who's credible to take on that party. Is it Samuel Tua? Is it McGill? Is it
But
Thomas
how do you
Sala?
bring
Is it
how
George
do you
Weah?
bring how do
Is
you
it Sir
bring my
Howard
girl?
Taylor? I'm calling the names. These are the people that the Liberian people will chase after if the UP works hard, if Waka does well to change things, at least for the better. You think the Liberian people will be that stupid to chase a Jua Howard Taylor who says she's coming in 2029? For real?
I mean, I think I can tell you, Volcano, Joel has no future, political future in Liberia when it comes to the presidency. How do you think about making Samuel to a president when the man is unsanctioned? How do you think about putting
Well,
not
they made Nathaniel McGee senator.
yeah, oh but guess what? You see, look, they said the evil that a man does, lives after him. There is a communication from one of these international group to the central bank. They're asking for the account numbers of Jefferson Koji, Samuel Tua, and the others who are sanctioned to make sure that uh, those accounts will be frozen. The argument from the United States and other uh, 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 global community member is that these people should not be allowed to do any monetary transaction using US dollars. So that means that even McGill, Nugwe, and the others who work in the Senate, I'm not sure how they're going to take pay because I think that 60 or 80% of their income is US dollar. So if they deposit 80% of your money in US dollar into your account, You cannot make a withdrawal from that account because that account is frozen. It is US dollar. You will only be able to have access to Liberian dollars. So the road construction that Mr. McGill promised his people in McGill, I'm not even sure how you're going to undertake that. How is he going to be able to even take care of him and his family while in the Senate?
Well, are you gonna get paid? They'll pay.
He paid the only pay that you will be able to have access to is the Liberian dollars.
They'll get LD. They'll get LD. They'll pay all his salary in LD.
Do you think
But
that McGill want to carry suitcases with him?
they'll get him in LD, my man. The man that shared the
Yeah.
16 billion they were passing around. They just printed a new note for the election. They were
So
using all.
everything that they did,
They'll come back.
is
They'll come back to haunt them.
yes,
Let's
it's
see this
actually
important
something
piece
that
in the speech where the president talked about you put a bill that will advance, the modalities to operationalize local government.
yeah, that's
Give,
for tourism.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
to give them, no, 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 not for tourism, but to decentralize.
He wants to
To
that's the
give them,
local government.
yeah, to give them power again.
Mhm.
Um, when
He wants to expand.
we were growing up, they voted for city mayors. They voted for those. Uh,
Yeah, people voted for city mayors across the country.
yeah. So,
Other local officials were also voted for.
so let's hope that that would take root. It's necessary, you know, because I think one of the things that we've done for the president to continue to appoint mayors and superintendents is like you're putting your own people on the people. Yeah, you're placing the people on the people.
Then how
How
could
can
you
you,
got it?
how can you, Ellen Johnson Sally, be from Bomi? You know nothing about Grand there, but then you appoint
The
a superintendent,
superintendent.
you appoint mayor there in Zwedru. Incorrect. Incorrect. So they have to go back to changing that whole thing.
There are a couple of things that the president said. Let me also say, the president spoke about the code of conduct. He said to ensure transparency in the government. When the code of conduct, which regulate the activities of public officials or in civil servants, when the code of conduct was enacted, they needed to put in place a group of people referred to as the ombudsman. So they will be able to monitor, track, and ensure that everybody is complying with the code of conduct. So the UP government is saying that, hey, we are here, we are willing to conform. As part of this, we're going to make sure that the ombudsman is put in place. I think that's laudable. The
Absolutely.
president also said that uh, they are under his leadership, the UP leadership, they're going to be audits across the three branches of government. I'm sure when he said that, some of the senators, some of the representatives in the House of Representatives were feeling very uncomfortable
Hmm.
because these are the people who allocate, millions of dollars to themselves. But over the years, Volcano, these people have never been audited. Never. No audit. So Mr. Barker comes to say, hey, every 3 months, we do audit. So people who are running into government now need to begin to have a second thought that yes, we will give you the job, but we will monitor you. If you can, you have only one bedroom in less than 3 months, you're driving a $500,000 car, and you make only $6,000 a month, something is not right. You need to answer for that. That's also laudable.
Yeah. So the other thing that we also can add in here, the Presidential Transition Act.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This act was put in so that the process of moving from one government to the next, the exchange of power should be seamless. We didn't see it.
No, we did not.
We didn't see it. So it's important for this act to be passed so that all of the ingredients within it can be a here when it comes time in 2029. It is very important.
Absolutely.
It's very
I agree.
important. It's very important.
So
Uh,
he said that they're going to introduce a bill. In fact, I think he said a bill was introduced during
yes,
the Sirleaf
right.
administration.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to make sure that that bill is passed into law. I think that's commendable because of a kind of if that law had taken effect, all these challenges with the we administration
Mm-hmm. And
regarding compliance
people being
issue that would have been resolved.
people being disrespectful,
Yeah.
and acting like they were on their own personal property. They're
Hmm.
not relinquishing information. They're
Hmm.
not giving out, taking ministries, what you call it, supplies, clearing up, chairs and taking people changing license plates from cars, scratching all the serial
Serial
VIN
number.
number and all of that. What were you what all of that for? All of that for?
People taking laptops, my man.
Yeah, all of that for.
Can you imagine, man? You're assigned to an office, or in that office, you're taking laptop. You're taking the people laptop home, man.
So I try to emphasize this because a lot of folks were talking about this whole the man said no car will be stuck in the mud.
Hmm.
The implication here is not to pave the roads with asphalt. The implication here is to make the roads pliable. And how do you make the roads pliable? When we were growing up, I was born and grew up in Pingsville. We had a lot of dusty roads. Even the very GSA road I was born on was dusty road. Thank God that Ellen was able to pave it, right?
Hmm.
But that dusty road, when those days it rains in the rainy season, the ditches in the road, you could walk to almost your knee. And only trucks were mostly on that road because they had a rock crushing company. Then you had a motor pool. Then you also had the Ministry of Action for Development and Progress that later
Yeah.
turned into
Hmm.
what you call rural development.
Yeah.
That was where the ministry operated from. So a lot of big trucks were on that road. And we were growing up, said, but you got Pototori right here. This is where they're taking all the quota from. Why do people can't pave the road? But what we heard historically that road was paved according to the archive, but the government ate the money. So they eat the money been long ago. That was what we were told when we were growing up. But I remember that after the rainy season, the grader would come and resurface the road. Sometimes
Yeah.
they would waste some hard dirt or crushed rocks on the
Hmm.
road and make it like gravel road. And that made the road pliable. That means that the road was surfaced and it was good enough for smooth ride.
Hmm.
I believe this is what Boakai is referring to, that they will prioritize going to all of the major connecting the roads, major roads connecting the counties across the country to make those major roads pliable until those roads can be paved. And I don't think that all of these roads will be paved in Boakai's government. I don't see it happening. But the fact that each rainy season will come, and when the dries coming, we make the road, we resurface them so that they can be, easily pliable. He also talked about the extension of the Johnson Tucker Bridge.
Yeah.
You
They're
tell me,
going. They're going to expand that.
I was talking to an engineer, and the engineer said to me that the Johnson Tucker Bridge has outlived rather its
Its usefulness.
strength. No, its strength, not
Okay.
usefulness, but its strength. Because concrete and steel over time they wear away.
Of course.
When the bridge was built, it was built for a small population. Because when you're building bridge, you build the bridge with calculation of commutability. How many cars going to be up and down on that bridge per day, right?
Hmm.
Moving back and forth. Those days, how many people had cars? Not many people had cars. And so the structure was designed to serve the population then and the number of cars that were in the population. And even if they projected it or later past that amount, yet
Mm-hmm.
it couldn't survive from then to now with everything that is happening. Do you know that the road supposed to be going, coming, but they're making 3 lanes on it, especially going to town from Douala all the way going to town? They're making 3 lanes on that road, on that bridge rather. And the bridge, those lanes are not moving. The cars are sitting. What if the
It
piles
goes down, yeah.
or the pillars under the bridge crumble?
Go down, yeah.
What if? So all of our infrastructure are old, and they were built at a time when, of course, we were a small population and small transportation in the population, and today we are overstressing these what we call infrastructure. The same for the Shuffling Bridge. That bridge is a scary place to think about. I've thought about that bridge every time I'm coming from Robertsville to Monrovia. I've thought about that bridge. The bridge has disconnect from the mainland. There is a gap. There is a gap. And I don't know how can we have engineers. This guy who was crying for the woman called Ruth Coffee. Well, name again. What probably well
The
mean
Collins.
Collins. Oh, Collins. Ruth Collins.
Ruth Collins,
Collins
yeah.
crying for her. She's the best public work minister ever. What about why everything got to be best with these people?
Yeah,
So
but we had the best president of what
yeah,
his name.
so the best public work minister. But the funny road they building from Ralphie over there to Moria, didn't see how funny that road look. But they say she's the best public work minister. But the point I'm trying to make here is that now that we hearing that in his inaugural address, I mean not inaugural, his SONA's address, that the Japanese will put a 4 lane bridge. So you say the government of Japan is expected to provide funds to expand the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to 4 lanes. Now,
Yes.
what is scary to me? Why expand the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to 4 lane when you can build a new 4 lane bridge at some point over the Providence Island, or at some point over the Bourgeois Island to mainland Monrovia, right?
Hmm.
Then to say you're going to mess with the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to expand it.
Well, what I would say is
That was
that
my concern when I thought about that.
okay. No, what I was saying is that I think before he came public with that, he may have spoken to his technical people, and the Japanese too may have had discussion with him or with the government on that. That look, this is what we can do to help your administration. Like you said, I agree. The Gabriel Tucker Bridge has outlived its usefulness. Maybe the strategy is to come and revamp it and make it 4 lane, expand it, and make the driveway. I make 4 lanes in that vital area. I heard somebody, in fact, I shouldn't say I heard, but rather I read today. A colleague was saying that it is not possible to have 4 lane in Vietown. I mean, we're not talking about Moses Sandy trying to build a road. We're talking about a country, So a lot of money will change hands. The government will say, look, we want you to relocate. We will pay for your property. This is about the good of the country. This is what we want to do.
But
They
no,
will buy people out.
no, Moses, you can do 4 lane because the United Nations Drive, which goes that way, is 4 lane.
Hmm.
Got two on the side and two on that
Yeah.
side. It's
Yeah.
just that the two that where it converges, the one coming from going and the one coming in, and then you got the old bridge, the one that fell in the river that they rebuilt, Tottenham Bridge.
Hmm.
That whole little section just need to be expanded and then spread it over
Yeah.
the river. That means you will be coming instead of where you coming at Slipway, you'll be going toward Waterside Way, right in the back of uh EJ Road.
Well, yeah, I know that area there. Yeah.
Yeah, EJ Road, you'll be coming that way. But my concern here from engineering perspective and this is my layman thought. You cannot expand a bridge that has gone through war. Do you know how many rockets fell on that bridge? Do you know the distress and stress that bridge has gone through?
A lot.
And I don't care what you tell me. It is possible for the Japanese to say, yes, we can do that. But how many engineering blunders haven't happened? When I started public works administration in graduate school, most of the projects that we looked at were engineering blunders, where monies were put into things that were not necessary. One example is the Boston Dig, right in Boston. Billions of dollars were spent just on a 6 mile, what you would call bypass,
Hmm.
and it didn't materialize. There was a major incident that took place in Kansas where the sky bridge in the hotel fell, killing hundreds of people. So, yes, it's easy for the Japanese to come and say they can do that, but I wouldn't think that they must do anything with that bridge and say they can expand it. That means they will have to start building new pillars under it. They will destroy the design. You know the design that goes in a circle to get down to the island, right?
Hmm.
We'll have to do that. So the best alternative is to build a new bridge. We Doe wanted to do it when he was connecting from that Doe community somewhere up there
Yeah.
to come
From.
up to Crown Hill,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That was in the thought.
That was his dream to connect from
Yeah,
there, come up to
to Crown
Crown
Hill.
Hill. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should be able to start new things than trying to fix old things. That's what we
Yeah.
should be trying to do. Start new things than fixing old things. Because the money you take to fix, and why in America people don't go fixing? What to do? They
They're
change.
going to get a new one.
They
Yeah.
just change.
They
Because
come
the money that
different.
the money the money you take to fix old things, you can just build a new thing.
Forget another because just coming back to what you said, why in America people don't they don't keep fixing it. Say you got your Honda Civic that is maybe 12 years old and your transmission goes bad. Then you run to the mechanic. They say, "Oh yeah, transmission gone bad." You replace the transmission. You drive the car for after 1 month again. Then you start having another mechanical problem. You take it by
My
the
brother,
money you spending. You can just go and get a brand new car.
Moses, Moses, we learned the hard way. We learned the hard way,
Mhm.
very hard way. I have purposely said to myself, I will never buy a used car in America to use again. I had a car that I was paying car note for because of what it was doing to me.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth to the mechanic.
Every time fixing the one
Yeah,
car.
and I'm paying $600. Like, but this is two car payments. No headache. So in 2013, I braved the storm and I said,
You
listen,
say, I ain't got time for this thing anymore,
this is
man.
too much, man. I will go to the car lot. I have the credit. I have a job. I will go
Yeah.
to the car lot and I will take a brand new car. I know it's going to be strenuous, but the time I would take to get to the garage, maybe 3 or 4 years down the road,
Of
and I'll
course.
be close to paying for this car that can serve me for maybe another 10 years.
Hmm.
And for me to be facing somebody trouble. Because that car that I bought used that was giving me all the problems, that's somebody's trouble, and they got tired and they threw it away, and I went to pick it
You
up.
when you took it.
So
You
this
said, "Oh
is
my man, I'm not making the car payment,
yeah,
but just run it to the mechanic
yeah.
and the car payment right there."
So this is the analogy you're making. You're right. Let us
Yeah.
not fix or try to expand the Gabriel Tucker Bridge.
Hmm.
Let us build new bridges. Let us not try to expand the Shuffling River Bridge on the Do River. Let us build new bridges.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to settle for mediocrity. We can't continue to settle for poor development. Our country is progressing. Our population is increasing. Let's borrow from our neighbors. Let's go and see Ghana. It is the sacrifice. If you were giving the people development, they will eat dry rice. But you're not giving the people development, they're eating dry rice. You're stealing the money. You're building small thing there. That I mean, so go ahead and go big.
Yeah.
Go big. We have the resources to go big. If it were
Mhm.
not so, investors would not be waiting anxiously to come back to Liberia, irrespective of all the things that they say. Claire, we are better dunking talk from Liberia. We still got more.
Of
All
course.
the monies that was stolen from 1847 to today, we still got more. The country is still endowed. We
Yes.
cannot continue to settle for little or nothing. Build big,
Absolutely.
Mr. Boyka. In your arrest plan, build big, build big, build big. Stop this small fixing here and there. Let's build big. Let's move this country. But Monrovia capital city looks so ugly. For all of the small building they put in there, it's still ugly. And if you want to know, go stand on one of those building top and look down. You will see it's ugly. Let's
Yeah.
start build and build better and bigger.
I mean, the good thing about it is that uh, the incoming administration has an idea in terms of where they want to take the country. They are making proposals. They are talking about things that they want to do. That's laudable as compared to what we saw for the past 6 years. We saw a group of people that were unfixated on enriching themselves. Now we have someone who come and say, "This is how we're going to do it," and these are our plans. That's commendable. Take for example, the president talked about the educational system in the country, and he said the current educational system in Liberia uh, is not what Liberia deserves. It means that
Absolutely.
the system is underperforming.
Absolutely.
You know, look, Volcano. The other day I watched a video. In fact, yeah, that came from the Senate. One of the senators said that in Bopolo, Volcano, 17 schools closed. No teachers. No teachers when Mr. Weah was president. So if you and now we're just talking about one county. If you go to Grand Juliet, what is obtaining in Bopolo or Lofa County is no different from what happening in Grand Juliet. What is happening in Grand Juliet is no different from what is happening in Nimba because the past administration paid little or no attention to these problems. Now the incoming administration said we're going to invest into education. We're going to hire qualified teachers. We're going to make education a priority.
Well, let me just throw in what he says here.
Yeah,
Education remains a beacon of hope, but our educational system has seen a downward spiral
yeah,
over the years, leaving countless Liberian children without the tools they need to build
yes,
a better tomorrow. It is a problem, and we must confront it head on.
yeah.
Head on.
Head on.
Education is not a privilege, it is a fundamental right. We cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that a significant portion of our population is struggling with a lack of access to quality education.
That's
And
true.
there is no other way that we can genuinely seek to successfully fight poverty without the provision of quality education for our people. Starting now, my administration is making a steadfast commitment to revitalize our educational system. We will
Absolutely.
invest in education infrastructure and provide adequate resources. In this, we crave your support. So,
Absolutely.
so,
You
so
see the
again,
commitment?
so again, this commitment is acceptable, but the parameters, the mechanisms that will be put into place to ensure that these things are happening.
That's
We heard
that's
that.
what
We
to
heard
get.
that. Hold on.
Hmm.
We heard that. We heard that the education minister that has
Hmm.
been nominated. Let's hope that this person will work in that direction. It is important to note that people who are saying that she is a what? Niece of the president
The
elect.
president, yeah.
I don't have problem. I don't have problem if she's qualified. What I have problem with, she might not come and say, "Oh, I'm my uncle," so you can do whatever you want to do. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, and let's call it spade a spade, Moses. So I don't have problem. What I would have problem with is when this person has committed, it means that you must commit, irrespective of relationship, irrespective of relationship. And so we want to make sure that this is put in place because Moses, you and I wouldn't be here having this kind of conversation if we're not learned, if we didn't go to school. We would have this conversation. We would have people like
We
Dr.
not even
Douglas,
have the opportunity to get a
like
job.
Christopher Wesley, Thomas Awaji would not listen to us. Thomas Awaji wouldn't be weighing in if he was not educated.
No,
So we can continue to deprive the generation behind us.
it is a right.
It
It is
is.
a
It
right.
is. And so when you tell the people, say you do free education, but you're not giving them quality with free, then there's a problem.
Hmm.
You can give something free to me because you won't give it to me. How you gonna take your old shoes, the boss, the more open then you say, my man, that's only here free for you. My man, don't give me that shoes. So don't take a broken down educational system and give it to the Liberian people for 6 years and say you're giving them free education.
Getting free education.
And then you have pundits, supporters of the CDC asking why the president did not talk about whether he's going to continue the free education. How would the
But
man
it
continue?
wasn't working.
But I'm coming. How would the man continue free education when he already said he's there for only $20 million? Get $20 million, $20 million. But let me tell you something. My center alone, $20 million drop in the bucket.
I mean, that's small money.
And you're talking about a whole country's educational system. So the $20 million can do uh,
Nothing.
nothing plus whatever else they will find. So
But
you
look,
got to make education
Volcano,
free.
just,
We
just,
say, make it. I'm coming, Moses. Make it affordable.
mhm,
There's a difference in being totally free and affordable.
of course.
You know, I went to school. It was affordable. We and even in the affordability, some of us couldn't barely pay.
No, we could not. We
You
had to take
graduated from
student
public
loan.
school. You graduated from public school or BWI, right?
I
BWI
went BWI. Yeah, I went
public
BWI.
school.
Mm. Partial, partly private, partly public. But on the average, you can say 95%, funded by government. We had to pay tuition,
We all been tuition.
minimum 50. We're paying what, 50 US dollars per semester.
But what I'm saying, I went to public school. I did small private, but then I went bulk of my going to school in public
Hmm.
school. But that's what I'm saying. And even when we were going to public school, we had to pay fees.
Oh, yeah, we had to pay fees. Yeah.
We had to register. We had to go
Had to
through all of that.
register.
We had to buy our own textbooks. We had to
Hmm.
pay what I fee, electronic fee, all kind of funny fees. We had to pay those fees. But to say that you're going to make something free and then give it any kind of quality, that's a problem. And so, yes, Mr. Boycott should not continue free education, but he should make it affordable. He should consider that uh, if they can make it free, if they have the money, the country again, as I said, is rich. If some of the investors want to do social corporate responsibility and look at sectors in the country and say, okay, we'll focus on vocational, institutes and so forth. But you can't make education free in a society, especially when the country,
Especially career education.
yeah, but
You know?
especially the country that
Mhm.
cannot even entice its own economy, that's not producing anything in its own economy, when everything is shipped out, when the country itself doesn't even have job opportunities. So why make something free when you can't pay for it? That's the problem.
Look, Volcano, like you said, I think there has
One
to
thing I
be.
want to add before I let you come in,
Sure.
question,
Hmm.
it came to me. For instance, the WIAC fee that president we are paid. What I said on this platform, many productions, and I continue to say, the idea of we are paying for WIAC fee was acceptable. But you don't just pay for people to go fail. What
Yeah,
we should
you're
have
not
done,
even tracking whether the people
that's
are
what I'm saying.
passing or
What
not.
we
Yeah.
should have done was to pay for people who pass the WIAC. So all you needed to do Find your YFE, go pay. When you pass, we'll reimburse. That's all he needed to do. They had pay for 40,000 students and then two pass. He
Yeah.
just threw money away because when they don't pass, they don't graduate. I would believe because in our time, if you didn't pass the national exam, you don't graduate. I don't know about their time now.
Yeah, I don't know much, but given the way they ran the country, I don't think the
Until
schools were
why
even paying
until
attention to that.
why
Why
was
did
it
not matter?
important? Why
Yeah,
was that even important?
didn't
Right?
matter.
But that's what he should have done. Then to say I just pay YFE, you've
Pay
passed, you
what
pay, I
fee.
pay. Then there was no competition. Then no
No.
one cared. Really a team, you know, the passing of why. So
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to add. So all of those free things he was doing, he didn't do it in a way that it would have made sense. Go ahead.
Everything and in the area of education, the decision was impulsive. That man woke up one morning, he's sitting around a table with a man and sipping coffee. He
But
said,
look what this guy is saying.
"Yeah,
Sebastian Tikla, he says, why say education is free when you cannot even pay the teachers?
absolutely." His Tikla is absolutely right. I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah.
How do you say education is free at the University of Liberia when you gave one professor 150 students to teach? The classroom are overcrowded. You got more than 25,000 people on waiting list. Then what is the essence? The classrooms are filthy. The teachers are not paid. The community colleges around the country are not functional. Teachers are walking away because they are not being paid. And you say it's free. So it didn't work for it at all. I think the current administration, should study the situation and take the right action that will salvage the situation.
So
You
we
don't
are
want to
saying
come
the
and
six
exacerbate
thousand
it.
teachers from Nigeria, how they were going to be fed? Who were
The
going
six,
to pay
the
them?
six
Was it the
thousand
Nigerian
teachers
government?
that you say you are bringing in.
How they were going to be paid? Was it the Nigerian government? Or
Maybe the arrangement was for the Nigerian government, to do that for Liberia. Who knows? I'm just being hypothetical here.
the man didn't even say exactly how those people were going to be sustained?
Mhm. But at
But
least the people did not come, so that one he went with them.
you know, but I'm famous said DJ Josh, we are education stuff that blah.
Man,
So let's
Mr.
continue
Weir,
as we
le-
push on because we're not here long tonight.
yeah,
Let's
let's
I want no, no, there's a point here I want to add in the diaspora.
oh yeah,
Okay,
you talked about it, the role of the diaspora.
the diaspora, and you would think that we would be embraced and welcome, but sometimes it's not the case. When we are going home, the people, oh, they're coming out to come fight for our job. They not come by here. They were sitting out over there. Some of them ain't even got nothing, but they coming out to rush here to fight for our job.
The people feel intimidated, my man.
So the man said our Liberian brothers and sisters in the diaspora are an integral part of our nation. They are an extension of our national pride. They share in our nation's happiness and sadness. They are readily responsive to the needs of family members and friends in times of difficulty. You hear that?
Mhm.
Liberians in the diaspora have a stake in the future of Liberia, and my administration will be intentional about ensuring that their stake in Liberia is fully harnessed. I have therefore proposed rather an annual diaspora conference on national development. I commend the action of the 54th Legislature and the past administration for the actions to remove the unfair burden of citizenship against Liberians who have chosen to explore opportunities in other parts of the world. I am glad that the slogan, once a Liberian, always a Liberian, now has a true meaning. We will establish clear and predictable policies and links where diaspora Liberians can play more meaningful roles in Liberia's future. But what I didn't like here, and I think he must come back and make a clarification here that the haphazard uh bill that was put forth that they ran to go sue for 94.
The dual citizenship.
Yes. They need to be definitive. President Boakai needs to say, listen, no more visa for any Liberian born Liberian. It's done. Done deal. You come to
I
your
think
country. Yeah.
that's some of the concrete actions that they need to
And,
take.
and because right now, if you went to an airline to fly out and you show a Liberian, I mean, an American passport, they're going to ask you, where's your visa? So all these things that they're talking, some people who will go and show ECOWAS passport and leave America, but they got American passport, they got to be doing all kind of swap. Why be hiding to go to your own country? Why? It is not necessary. So the president needs to be clear. Meet with the speaker, meet with the Senate, and say, listen, once and for all, no more visa, dual citizenship is acceptable. Let's continue and move our country. Because then all the bottlenecks and stuff, it takes away. Liberians don't have to hide now. You don't have to. The people can threaten you right now. If you went to Liberia, you have a an American passport. They say you can't own land. They'll tell you that. Oh yeah, they'll tell you that. I'm not kidding you.
I mean, for the fact that the people can even say that if you have a U.S. citizenship, or you are you are a naturalized U.S. citizen, you cannot excel beyond the position of assistant minister. It means a lot. It tells you the resentment,
Mhm.
against people who left the country and sought to advance themselves. And that's really at the disadvantage of the country. We're not trying to put our local people down, but a lot of people abroad, the exposure, the education, you need people with a requisite training. Take, for example, the
Yes.
whole situation we're talking about,
Mhm.
the situation regarding these at-risk individuals. You need people who have the expertise, people who have run this kind of program abroad, people who know what it means when an individual is an addict and what can be done to help. But over the years, if you allocated only $30,000 for mental health and the Ministry of Youth and Sport look the other way, you don't have local Liberians that have the expertise. So, like you said, these people need to get on the drawing table and better begin to, do a critical analysis of the current situation and say, hey, this one we have to look the other way because we need these people to come and help us.
And if you make the process fair across the board through the what you call civil service institute, and people go and do competencies exams.
Yeah.
If you want to work for the state here, you have to take an exam, right?
Hmm.
And people do competencies exams. What are you from the diaspora? What are you from Liberia? This is where the sheep get separated from the goats.
Yeah.
That's the process to bring in competent people
Hmm.
with the background to serve in those areas that need actual professional skill set.
Hmm.
But you come, you call your man from somewhere because he in the United Party, you get him job.
Yeah.
You call your man from somewhere because he in CDC, you get him job. It doesn't work like that. Why
No,
do
it
we
doesn't.
develop institutions? Why do we create institutions when we don't utilize those institutions to the fullest?
You know?
I should be able to take my resume and upload it just like I would do on Indeed,
Yeah.
just like I would do on any, you know,
And
any
someone will call you.
on a civil service website
Hmm.
because those jobs should be there.
Listed.
And I
Yeah.
can apply and
Mm.
attach my resume. And as a Liberian, I should be given a fair share. Even being in the diaspora, somebody should be able to call me and say, Mr. Shelton, we stumbled on your resume. Do you have time to do an over the phone interview? Because we know you in America. but we think you have the skill set and we want to discuss with you. We do that interview. Can you send up for the credential to show that, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Sheldon, we made a decision to hire you. Are you able to relocate? We cannot relocate you. Your relocation is on your own. But we
Yeah.
give you this time frame to relocate if you want a job. This
Right.
is the salary for the job. This is your contribution to your country. We may not pay you based on the salary you make in America, but we'll give you something decent for you to survive, as a person with dignity.
Liberia.
With dignity. And let me make that choice. But I shouldn't have to come to Liberia and be running behind people. And oh my man, yeah, you can't find me. Then when you go find the man, you can't see the man because the man down
Yeah.
there. What type of country is this?
Volcano, you go to the vet
This is
office,
you
baby.
want to attract diaspora Liberians, but you just talking about Marvel, but you're calling us every day for support. When you want to be president, you're running here. We got to raise money for y'all. Then when you become president, then you turn your back on us. But then when your government official they won't showcase, they say they're calling town hall meeting to tell us what. That's why I don't waste my time to go to these town halls. What you bringing to tell me? Are you stealing? Moses? So we must have that link that President Boakai talked about. That link must be created to
Yeah, I
bring
mean,
poor Liberians
uh,
back to
uh,
Liberia.
the role of the diaspora
Yeah.
community or the role of diaspora Liberians in Liberia's national development is indispensable, inseparable. You cannot have national development in Liberia without the input of Liberians abroad, because we are sending in high currency. We're not sending liberty. So we help, our family members who are there. The little we give them, they invest that money into the local economy. So that just tells you that you need these people at all costs. When you need people who have the skills, and again, let me reiterate, this is not meant to put local Liberians down. But basically, we are saying that people abroad will have advanced credentials and should be welcome, should be given the opportunity to contribute fully, because you need them at all. I mean, it's just impossible. You need these people. If you don't, you're going to go to Ghana, you're going to go to Nigeria and recruit Nigerians and Ghanaians. Then what's the
No,
essence?
no, no, you're not gonna go. They're gonna come in flux. On the
Oh,
influx.
yeah.
Yeah, you ain't going there. They're already there. They're already there. The Ghanaians, the Nigerians, they're already there. Okay?
So why
That is why
can't you get a job to your brothers?
that is why it's important, as I said, to create this conduit through which diaspora Liberians all over the world can have a part to play in this this rebuilding process of the nation. So, like Thomas Awaji is saying here, what is it? He's saying here that honestly, many Liberians are not willing to return home to work because the salary skills. But yes, that is why when they post the job on the civil service website, I will be applying to a job that I think that I can do with the salary,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And if they desire my expertise, they'll call me. And if there's a point where we can negotiate a few more dollars on the money and they need me really, then we go from there.
Yeah.
But we don't have that kind of system in place to reach out to us. It always got to be somebody who know me, or I got to go to Liberia and walk around until the sun bake me before somebody says, "My man, that's small thing here. We'll put you in the corner here to work." That's what it is. You know? Yeah, Thomas Awaji said, but all the senators and representatives are making all the money, 127K annually. Yes, you're right. You're right, Thomas. But if the very civil service supported through the national employment data and the different professional uh, uh, jobs that are in professional institutions, people, you don't have to be a minister or a senator to make a decent wage. You don't. It boils down to your expertise. It boils down to the need, right, of that institution. Even here in America, guys who are IT guys, they make good money because they are running the cyber nature of the organization. If you go into healthcare, you find nurses making good money, right?
Hmm.
But if you went to technological areas, like for instance manufacturing, you're not going to find nurses there making. You can't go there with a nursing degree, right? You have to go there with an engineering background. So the point I'm making here is all of the different sectors in the country through the civil service was post these jobs so everyone can compete. Then the people who on the grounds can say, oh, you came from there, they just take all our job and give it to you. No, you sat the same test that I sat, but it took me because it proves
Because
that
I have skills that you don't have.
yeah, I have the exposure. I have worked in environments that provide for this kind of job, but you have no exposure to that. So that's what needs to happen, Moses. And honestly, the last thing, so we can go to memory lane here quick, is he said the country is in distress, but the people hope is alive. And why the people hope is alive, Moses? The people hope is alive because it is a new day. But please, Mr. Boakai, don't dash the people's hope. Everybody is now anxious. You say the people should manage their expectations. But the Liberian saying, they say dry dog sweet, but what the man will be eating before the dry dog get prepared. So in your first 100 days, we want to see some robust actions taken. The promises, if even some things are not fulfilled, but at least we can see that the process, have started and that we mean business. Please, your motto is no more business as usual. Don't give us these speeches and don't act on them. Don't put the mechanisms in place. We can no longer wait. We're 170 some more years old. We've been pushed around as a nation, as a people, and we can't continue to settle for empty promises and mediocrity. That is why I said to you, President Boakai, anything you do now, do it big. Don't build a terminal, like Ellen Johnson terminal, only two gates, and then the jet bridge not even working again. In less than no time, the zinc flying from the terminal. Some of the bathrooms are not even functional in no time. That terminal was dedicated by President. We are in 6 years. So you're telling me we're built only to be destroyed in 6 years? Or we should be building for hundreds of years? Because there are infrastructure in this country that have been here since 200 years and they're still thriving. So we need to think differently and we need to act differently.
But look, simplistically speaking, what the president was trying to convey to Liberian is that let's be resilient. Despite all these challenges, with resilience, we will surely prevail. Because when you begin to easily allow yourself to get overwhelmed and don't say that this too shall come to pass, then obviously you're going to fail. So the administration is willing to give the Liberians the courage that all is not lost. That's why they are determined to work on things that we kick the economy, to jumpstart the economy, giving the people hope. That's why they are committed to.
And Moses, if
Yes.
you, if you make a comparative analysis
Hmm.
of the countries that have gone through similar circumstance as ours, you will see the resolve to move the country forward.
But
We
it is
haven't
too
shown that
early for
resolve.
him.
No,
He
no, no,
just
no,
took
no,
over
no,
less than two
no.
weeks ago.
Moses, I'm not talking about him.
Okay.
No. We have not had war since 2003. That's 20 years. Rwanda changed her country in 20 years. Ghana changed her country in 20 years. But Liberia remains, hope is alive.
Hmm.
Wasted 18 years behind Ellie and Weir. 18. The park president.
Of the 18 years,
The
the
park
last six
president.
years was the worst.
The park president. Okay. The man built 4 parks. The park president.
Yeah,
So that's all I can say, my brother. But
yeah,
as we go along, let's hope for the best.
yeah.
I mean,
And
I'm not gonna sit there and pretend that I'm not anxious. I am
no, I
anxious.
mean we all should be anxious
Yes,
because when you're
I
not
am
anxious,
anxious.
then
I want to
you
see
don't
it happen.
strive.
Because the moment you give room for excuses, we'll settle again for the same thing.
That's
The
true.
moment we start to give room for excuses, Moses, how can I say the day Moses sending Lee his wife, I will take care of her? After all these years, Moses sending her his wife, I just looking at her wife. The day they
Yeah,
got Lee his
you
wife,
want to take the man wife, my
yeah,
man.
then I get a man wife. Now I even know why that man left. Then I inherit the wife. That's it. Then I want Moses here. Now what Moses was dealing with here. Man, I ain't what it want. No, it
So,
don't work like that.
you know, you got me frustrated, woman.
Yeah, it don't work like that. It doesn't.
Because
So
you
you
would
make
think,
a decision. Mhm.
you know what I was saying?
Yeah.
You would take the woman because she would be thinking that, oh, well, I think Volcano will step up to the plate. When she tells you, so, oh, my car payment, and he said, oh, that wait for next month. Then she said, no, Moses, now you should do that.
So the
I did
thing,
not even know how to pay bills.
the point of making Moses, I understand what you're saying, right? I'm not saying to President Boaga we need everything happening right now.
No, I'm
I'm
just
saying,
kidding.
what I'm saying to President Boaga, two brilliant speeches put forth. We want to see actions immediately in these 100 days.
Yeah.
You don't
But
have to fulfill.
I
Yeah,
see actions,
yeah.
Volcano.
You
I
don't
see.
want to. I'm not asking you to fulfill everything, but I'm asking you to make me feel that something good is going to come out. I don't
Okay.
want no excuses. I don't want you to tell me to manage expectation. I want you to say, I will show you, I will manifest to you what I will do. It's not it's not my expectation to be managed. I
Okay.
have managed I'm coming. I've managed my expectations since 1847. I've managed my expectations since 2003. I've managed my expectation for 12 years under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I've managed my expectation for 6 years under George Weah. I cannot manage my expectation for another 6 years under Mr. Boycott.
Okay.
Great plan, great arrest mantra, great arrest platform. Start to actionize the ingredients in those in that platform, and let's see. Because I don't want no excuse. We can't continue to be hopeful because we talked about it. You study psychology just like me. We talk about when you become hopeful,
Hopeful.
hopeful to the point. There will be a point when you have to become. There will be a point of acceptance. That's what I meant to say.
Hmm.
Because then hope is lost.
Yeah, but
And
without hope,
and
then
then
life has no purpose.
we
Yeah.
say if Waga fails us, then then nobody can do anything.
Mhm.
Nobody can do anything. So
So,
let us not be soft.
yeah,
Let us be anxious.
of course, we have to be anxious and we have to be hopeful because Volcano, without hope, then life has no purpose. Why you think you took
There's
all
hope.
that student? Eh?
There's hope with action though.
So the point I'm trying to
Yeah.
drive here
Put
is
some
that
action in place. You can just say that
hope,
we are more open.
no, hope is what drives everything that we do, right? You and I went to graduate school. We took loan with the hope that we will graduate and get opportunities that will enable us to pay the student loan back. When you buy a home that costs $200,000, $300,000, uh, you say, well, this is where I'm going to make my home. I'm going to live because you know that there's a future that that you look forward to. If you don't have hope, what do? You commit suicide. People who commit suicide, they do so because no hope.
Yeah, but what you're saying here is that if I went to graduate school for the purpose of becoming educated
Hmm.
to live a decent life, then I can be hopeful. I must put work in.
Of course. But
I'm,
it is your hope that will drive you to find a job.
Moses, I thought you should just act because you have gotten developed. What is that hope? That hope is
So
the
like in
hope
the
is-
case,
I think the hope is something that you don't have control over, and you're hoping that that situation change or get manifested into something else. But if you have control, I have control right now that I can finish up here and go
go
upstairs.
like you.
Or no, go upstairs.
Okay, yeah.
Go
Yeah.
upstairs.
Go upstairs, go and sleep. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
But when I sleep, I must hope to wake up because I have
Yeah.
no control over waking up,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Something like that. So
Hmm.
my going to school is a preparation for me not to be hopeful, but to act on what I've accomplished and put into action to get the result. Now, if I went to school
Hmm.
and I didn't graduate, and because of circumstances, then I must be hopeful if I can find the money to be able to enter school and to graduate. So I think from my perspective, and we can differ on it. I think hope is where we don't have control, and that is why they
We
say hope
do.
is alive, because the people, the Liberian people, the country is in distress, but the people hope is alive, and that hope is that we don't have control, but we're watching you, Mr. Parker. Whatever you get, like, but you must try your best.
Well,
I'm saying,
uh, this what I would like to say. Hope is aspiration. It's what you strive for. It's what you look forward to. You can either get what you want or
or you
you
don't.
don't get it.
Okay.
And now if you don't get what you want, take for example, if I say my plan for 2025 or 2026 is to get a PhD, and I put everything into it, do all the studies, anything can happen, which is unforeseen that may prevent me from getting the PhD. I can go to bed today and tomorrow becomes the worst news. You understand? We do not have control over all the future, but we have the aspiration that the future will always be better. And that's the hope right there.
And that is why that hope has been dashed time and time immemorial from 1847 to now, that this future we continue to hope for would be better. Every
Yeah.
time we continue to be either stagnated
Mhm.
or regressed. But overall, I think it was a great conversation.
It
We
was,
uh
and Volcano, quickly before we leave,
yeah,
we
please be
shouldn't
quick.
leave this out. The rule of law. I think we should commend the administration. Mr. Walker said his government will adhere to the rule of law. You go to Liberia every day. You're getting ready to go back to Liberia. We don't want a Liberia where people will have 4 lanes. Oh my man, the 3 lane, the
All
four
right.
lanes,
Well,
and you gotta take care of people all over the
let me
place.
see when I go, then I will tell you whether the serious, because the market people have come on the car road, on the asphalt. The
Yeah.
no pedestrian can walk now. Pedestrian walking on the asphalt, the policeman ain't got time. So let's see. Let's leave that one.
Okay. Yeah. So
So
we hope that we have rule of law. We hope that
you can put that in what type of country is this by. Let's do memory lane quick. It's 8:45. Oh.
yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead.
So memory lane here tonight is by Dr. Manu Sumo. He writes, Liberia, a nation of think tankers. Where are they? Liberia, a nation of think tankers. Where are they? You see, it is evidently clear that Liberia, once a nation of refuge and wisdom, is now a nation of fear and mockery. In the midst of all of this, our new generation chose to walk away from the house of think tankers to a house of self destruction. And here is why. After the new wave of politics which sparked in the mid 1970s that ushered the 1980 coup, to a 14 years of civil war coupled with the COVID 19 and the continual silence of the nation's think tankers, Liberia is indeed drained to its lowest ever. A positive rebuilding of Liberia should be the utmost goal of all Liberians. Instead, Liberians are disappointingly concerned about how long a president should stand on his feet or her feet to give a speech. What does a long speech has to do with the tangibles? I repeat, what does a long speech has to do with the tangibles? A short speech that spells out comprehensive and effective deliverables is better than a long speech that has no executional framework. Does Liberia need a good orator or do we need a good project manager? Does Liberia need a long speech or a comprehensive blueprint of rebuilding a nation? President William Richard Talbot Jr., best known for lengthy speeches, was yet assassinated. Where are our think tankers? Let's go memory lane. You remember during the era when African colonies were fighting for independence? It was Liberia many of them ran to for counsel and refuge. Freedom fighters like Hugh Masekela, Mariam Makiba, among others, sought refuge in Liberia. At world conferences, Liberian delegates were regarded the big ones with experience and wisdom. Where are our think tankers? In 1885, at a conference in Berlin, big nations like England and France formally divided or colonized Africa. By then, Liberia was 38 years old, existing as Africa's only independent country. The 1985 Berlin Conference could not include Liberia because Liberia had think tankers defending its sovereignty by use of wisdom and integrity, not economic and military power. In 1885, Hillary Richard Wright Johnson was president of Liberia. That same year, President Johnson was forced to surrender the Galenas to the British rule in our sister country of Sierra Leone. In President Johnson's address to the nation, he said, I have agreed to concede our land, including the Galenas area, to the British Crown of Sierra Leone. Our people and I agreed that we are still one and shall remain one despite the white border that divides us. My decision to concede is in two folds. One, the love and safety of my people, and two, our weak economic and military power to fight. President Russell was a think tanker. Today, due to the silence of our think tanker, we have elected government officials who are tribal minded and idiots of politics. These idiots and tribal minded leaders would rather choose to organize protests and demonstrations that further destroy our values, identity, and people. Haven't we as Liberians learned? History teaches us about the 1979 rice riot when people got injured, died, and properties destroyed. Eventually, we were rewarded with the 1980 coup d'etat. The 1980 coup gave the birth to the 1990 war that killed over a quarter of a million Liberians, um, and leaving our country without running water and electricity. Several interim governments came and went, leading to a 12 more years of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Capital One corrupt government. Then another 6 years more with George Weah unfocused, corrupt, and overlapping of functions of government. In all of this, we are concerned about Joseph Nyumah Boakai health more than his plan for recovery of the nation. What have we learned from history? We keep doing the same thing, the same equation, and expecting a different result. The leaders alone are not the problem to Liberia. You, you, I mean you and myself are the problem as well. History teaches us that the product of protests, demonstrations, and bad politics is war. Then you come back to call for war crime court when you forget to know that the war crime court will not only indict warlords, but also you, Mr. Know All politicians who provoked the war with decisive politics or divisive politics. This discussion continues subsequently. But for the time, but for the first time, can I ask for you, from you rather, a favor? Can you stop all this speech, government appointment, arguments, and Joseph Human Boykai's health and take a walk with Joe? Can you first, for the first time, walk with Joe? I'm asking you to do that. Just a closer walk with Joe. A coming peace.
Come in peace.
And this one is written by Dr. Martin Sumo, Augustine Martin Sumo. In his caption, Liberia, a nation of think tankers, where are they?
Yeah.
Moses, what type of country is this that the people are so happy about this new government that the security is so slack that some guy just come from nowhere? The man Shiesty was way here. You can tell that he was somebody, some just come and swap across the president's chest and pulling him back. And the public was swift to maneuver his way out. The man who they said the man got health problem, he saw the public bounce. Ma try Joe, yeah. Try Joe.
I mean, what type of country is this that the people will literally run behind the president's convoy will be with the president at a major event and allow an intruder from nowhere to get closer to him? What type of country is this?
What type of country is this, Thomas Awaji, where the EPS allowed its citizens so close to the president and tried to put him in a sleeper's hold?
Yes,
Or call it a chokehold.
Ochoko.
Mhm.
What if that man have weapon? What type of country is this?
Whatever country is this where the president had to fight for his own pity?
Yes. What type of country is it that the president is literally fighting for his safety
Mm-hmm.
and you got EPS people standing up and looking at the man?
With dark shades. With dark shades. What
Yeah.
type of country is this?
What type of country is this, my
9-year-old
people?
president talking about doing drug tests.
Oh, man, what type of
And
country
we
is this?
all
So
know
people
it
have
is
to
going
go
to
sit
come
down home.
negative. Listen now.
Yeah.
What type of country is this with a 79-year-old president talking about doing drug tests when we all know that it's going to come back negative? He doesn't drink or smoke. So fly.
What type of country is it? I think what type of country is this that the 79-year-old is only showing to Liberians, demonstrating to Liberians in the world that, look, we are committed to this.
But Moses, what type of country is this? The people had a nice little audience yesterday in our chambers. Everything looked so tranquil and nice, air conditioner beating. They chose not to go in there, bring the good guests then, they go put the people in a hot sun. Everybody in here just fanning themselves. What type of
What,
country is this? All
what the
because they decided, from 3,000, you turn it into 7,000 people.
7,000, man. What type of country is this that people show up to national event, even the security officers, they can be easily bought? What type of country is this? That's what happened on the inauguration day, Volcano.
Yeah.
Once you came and you saw those guys, they said, go, my brother. It was not about what invitation.
What type of country is this, Moses? That you put in a program together of this magnitude and you got no crowd control plan in place,
Nothing.
no ambulance nowhere in sight,
No water.
no fire truck, nothing. When you telling us the people ain't get you no money,
Yeah.
and now the story changing. What type of country is this? The inaugural committee chair lady giving her own version, but everybody said that's not true. What
What,
type of
what,
country is this?
What type of country is this that Miata family say I'm waiting for the audit? she said I'm not afraid of no audit.
What type of country is them? The other formula says she reached out to Mary Bro. Mary Bro
Yeah.
said that she called me that Joseph was I thought to. Look, the other confused because she came from sick bed. Oh.
But when that thing that you say, I say, oh, that one between miracle.
But I see you say I say we're coming to D way here now. What type of country is this where the outgoing president say he left 40 million, but the incoming president say only 20
That 20
million?
million.
Now, you say I say now.
So
Christopher
that
Wesley, what type of country is this? The government expenses are more than the revenue. Wow.
I tell you, what type of country? Yeah.
I'm afraid
Government
what
pay
type of
over
country is this?
$300 million on salaries.
What type of country is this? The president is still working from home. They this new conference room, Papi Boga been to a whole other way meeting.
But Joe, we are introduced a thing now, my man. What you think? Every- Anywhere the world has become a global village, you can work for anywhere, So
My man, we hire stay at home president. Now that work from home
but
president will
man,
hire.
we just want the things to be done. The old man dresses well, he take a shower, he executing the government task. Great.
Uh,
What
the
type of country is this?
yeah, the president is still working from home. He going almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, what type of country is there? Comments is still mobilizing people for 2029.
Yeah, but what type of country is this, my man? That 2029 would be the year. The year.
What type of country is this? So inauguration was just a week ago. My man, comments are already started mobilizing people for 2029. The ANC people, my man, are taking to the airway.
But
Coming will make a good president in 2029.
this is in serious term. What type of country is this that comes 2029? It might be 50 candidates.
Including at the SONA comments.
Yeah, 50 candidates. I'm not kidding you. If they don't do any election law now that will restrict this thing, I can see 50 candidates because CDC not putting out one candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Chua won't be president. Samuel Tua won't be president. Nathaniel he won't be president. Bidwa, Jefferson Koji, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, in fact, Alena Koji is going to be our candidate for the presidency.
So that means so we'll have 50.
A 50 presidential hopeful. But what type of country is there that we did not see a Carol's Gray on inauguration day demonstrating?
But Thomas, why you say the Papa ain't go to the mansion yet because we are still moving his belongings. What type of country is this, Flomo Livingstone, that the Senate hasn't confirmed any appointees? But have they started the process?
The confirmation process will start as of tomorrow.
Okay.
Mm.
What type of country is this, Christopher Wesley, that the executive mansion has been abandoned since 2003?
Yeah. I mean, the Zogo,
Tell window, right? Tell the operator from there.
yeah, to the operator from there, badly. Even Mr. Salif said, she worked from there briefly. And then Mr. Weah too, he went there. So, and now I am told it's completely, renovated.
Mm.
So the executive mansion is in a better position now. What type of country is this, my man?
What type of country is this that pimping boys and not start complaining? Oh? They say, oh, they probably here won't stop our eating. Oh. We will see it. Look
You
at
say, man, we can't enter the city center, eh?
not people going to city again. Oh. They won't say all the way to Bangao.
Every command, the body, every command is a man, and then come here again.
What type of country is there? All the little squalors and ghettos in Nukudan and all what it did, the men else scared now.
The body, Mr. Command is. Listen, my man, you don't play Joe, you don't play yo. Now you get to there, now you got, yeah, you got to break everything now because it be not easy, man.
But what type of country is this that Bova Chimo, all that money, the man is filthy rich, my man. The man still threatening to come back 2029.
The man say you want to come out
What type of country is this?
after after being disgraced publicly, you still want to go back to run again, my man.
What type of country is this, Sebastian Tikla? That all the presidents are afraid to live in the state house.
What type of country is this, my man?
Some real bad things happen in that place, though.
Oh yeah. The experience of
Some real bad things happen
1980, my man. People
there.
are afraid of that building.
And then plus what we heard about the undergrounds in the mansion,
Yeah, all
all
those
the
things.
killings
Yeah.
that were
Too
done
many
there.
things happen in that building.
What type of country is this? Where a picture is circulating showing Charles Taylor cooking cassava leaf
Yeah.
in the prison.
Damn, man. What type of country is this, my man? That Charles Taylor has become a very good cook.
But you see the man arm, the man working out. You saw the man
Yeah.
arm?
Yeah.
Paulo
Man looks
man,
healthy, my man.
75.
Yeah. The man walks out every day. That's all he does in his little room. I'm sure he got all his equipment there.
But you remember, no, they got the gym. They come outside in the train. Not inside his room, but they come out and train. They got a whole gym. They got and the man play tennis, so probably he still playing
He
tennis.
goes there, he hang with his boys and tell
Yeah.
them, say, look, I'm a former president. He said, oh, really? I said, oh, yeah, I read Liberia.
They say, where's Liberia?
And then start going to geography. Oh.
Say, well, you president, how you end up here? Was
So
it
why are
you
you?
tell her now? You tell her.
Oh, man,
Hold
I just not go into that.
on. You tell her now. You tell her. So my man, I see you here every day. You waking over us. What your name?
Say, Money Charles Gange Taylor.
What thing? Gange?
Gange, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a Gola name.
What it means?
You know, when I was a young man, my parents didn't, help me know the meaning of my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you here? You from where? You say Liberia. What you are doing in Liberia?
I worked for the General Services Agency, and then after I left government, I came to the United States and later went back. That's one of the stories of my life that I really don't like to talk about. But I went back and led one of the biggest revolution in Liberia from 1989 to the early 90s. 1997, I won the presidency and I led the country up to 2003. Then I was forced by the international community to leave because there was this allegation against my country for supporting
Your
an
country or you?
insurrection in another, West African country,
Was it against
Sierra Leone.
was it the allegation against your country or you, Mr. Taylor?
Well, the global community was the view that since I was president and we play little. I mean, we pay little or no attention to what was happening. We did not secure our borders, so people were of the view that arms and rebels were being transported from my country to Sierra Leone.
Okay. So you're president. Damn,
Oh
man.
yes.
So we are with a president we didn't even know it.
Oh yeah. Look, man, I
What,
don't like
what,
to
what,
talk about that, but I.
what you were cooking? I was smelling it, my man. It didn't smell.
Oh man, that's one of the best dishes from my country.
Mm,
We call that cassava leaf.
wow.
Oh man, it's so tasty, man. Would
But
you like to have some?
I really want to eat some of that cassava
Oh,
leaf.
so
Man.
you are invited to dinner this evening.
Okay. Yeah, that thing was smelling good.
The man had a palm oil, my man.
Guy Ule Kishi, let's the part from president to prisoner.
Yeah, my man.
What
That,
type of country
that
is
double
this?
PO.
What type of country is this?
From president to prisoner.
What type of country is this? Yeah,
You know what,
Moses.
Volcano? I wonder what Joel Howard Taylor tells people whenever, the name Charles Taylor comes up.
I mean, I won't correct me. I think she said that. Yeah, really, I won't talk about.
I mean, but that's just part of her life history. She will have to live with that for years.
Yeah.
Certain history that you can't erase.
All
You
right.
see,
Let's
George
continue.
Weah with
Let's
the
go back to
condominium,
our countries. This we got.
George Weah with the condominiums that he erected, he will have to live with that history for years. He
Okay.
can't erase that.
Yeah. Where is this one that I just saw here, man? What type of country is this? Where is it at?
Can get Taylor.
What type of country is this? Manendo, where early cabinet nominees have controversial issues with credentials and corruption.
Wow.
What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that we have a foreign minister designate that her academic credential has been drawn into question? I wonder how she's going to deal with that when she appears at the Senate.
Well, she said she will show proof. What type of country is this, Flomo Livingstone, where the CDC had a press conference to rebuke President Boakai's SONA?
I mean, but that's understandable.
That's customary. What
Yeah.
type of country is this, Tamazawaji, where Martin Colley giving everyone a hard time about their degree?
Thomas, I mean, Martin Colley has become a hero into this Liberia. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this, Sebastian, when sanctioned officials are now lawmakers?
Yeah, what type of country is this?
What type of country is this, Flomo Livingstone? When PYJ hears about WCC World Crime Court, he goes into panic mode.
You're talking about PYJ, today, this guy, Edwin Snow, they were talking about asset declaration, and Prince Johnson said, for the fact that the guys in the legislature, they only rectifiers and things, they're not signing contract. They should not conform to asset declaration. So all of them came out and said, no, for the fact that we rectify, we are giving the approval that the contracts are all legal, so we all need to declare asset. Then Edwin Snow said, but I wonder those who have churches, they will also declare they will declare
Okay?
they will declare where the offering.
And then he got vessel.
The other
The man,
other pastor there in
the
the
man,
in the in
the
the
man,
Senate here when they declare the
running,
offering.
the man running a 501c3 church. What type of country is this? Ahmad Fremont, when a newly elected senator went to the university in 2005 and graduated 2001.
And the man is chairman of education.
Yeah, yeah.
The man went 2005, graduated 2001, and made him chairman of education, my man.
Tell you. But anyway, Moses, good to hang out tonight. Let's call it a night. It's nine
Yeah,
11. Um,
yeah, it,
this will
it
go.
was good
We'll
being
see what
here.
happening with the confirmation hearings. Um, we'll see who take the stand.
Yeah, the news will
Who will
start breaking
pass.
up.
Yeah.
As of tomorrow, we'll start knowing who is who.
Okay.
Because I think the hearing supposed to be live.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Mm.
We want to thank everyone for coming here tonight. Thomas Awaji, of course, always good to see you, my brother Adia Omo. Thank you so much, man, for being a continued uh, support supporter rather of the platform. Flomo Livingstone, of course. Sebastian Tikla, come again. I'm a Fremo. Always good to see you. Panendo, good to see you as well. Say thank you to Christopher Wesley for showing up here. Dr. Bottom Kula, it was good seeing you. We also want to thank Raymond Clark for showing up here tonight. Dr. Manin Sumo, thank you for your contribution to the platform in your memory lane. Yeko U. Harris, always good to see you, my brother. It's been a while. Mohammed Krumah from Springfield, Pennsylvania. It's good that you could stop by again. Alfred Nimle, good to see you. Thank you for joining us here, as well as Alfred Bleedy. Good to see you. Come back again. Share the word. Fergie Monu, thank you for joining us here. We'll see you guys on Friday, God's willing. Let's pray for the best for our country. I know everyone is anxious. The expectations are high, but it's good. We should be anxious. We should be anxious. Uh, and we trust that Mr. Boakai will deliver. Uh, I, 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 I have a profound degree of confidence uh, in him. But I pray that his lieutenants will see good in what he wants to do for the country and just come right in and work and work and work for the country. Let's pray for the best. Good night, everyone. We'll be back here on Friday, God's willing. Volcano Shelton on behalf of Moses Sandy and Alphonso Yenu, who couldn't be with us tonight. We say thank you and good night.